is a flare flying up over the battle of my heart, over the battle of my heart, over the battle of my heart. King Jesus is a flare flying up over the battle of my heart. King Jesus is a resurrection. So let us fly in the sky, let the whole world know, let the whole world know, let the whole world know. So let us fly in the sky, let the whole world know, King Jesus is a resurrection.
West Africa, August 2009. Micah Maupin and I met pastors Kevin Vandenbrink and Macklin Basse in Ghana after they had journeyed from Togo. They had been in Togo making connections with people, as well as government and church leaders, in preparation for Macklin's return to Togo to start a church plant and missions organization next year. They also visited Palime, site of the 2011 Amana Missions Conference. On Sunday, they visited Pastor Macklin's home church, where Pastor Kevin preached from Deuteronomy. Mike and I met Kevin and Macklin in Ghana, and we all flew to Monrovia, Liberia together. We were met at the airport by Jonathan Enders, head of the Kingdom Foundation School, and Jerome, head of the Alfred and Agnes Orphanage. They drove us to Painesville, outside of Monrovia, and into the Soul Clinic community, where we stayed during our time in Liberia. We immediately got to know our neighbors, including lots of the children in our community, as well as some young men who were doing some maintenance work and building on the house we were staying at. Jonathan drove us up to the Kingdom Foundation Institute in the Soul Clinic community, where we met his wife, Comfort, and some of the students that are sponsored through the Christian Foundation for Education. We visited the Kingdom Foundation Institute several times during our time in Liberia. We were able to interact with some of the teachers and lots of the students. Jonathan is in the process of raising funds to complete the Kingdom Foundation Institute's building. They need about $35,000 more to finish the second floor. We visited the Solid Rock Baptist Church, where Pastor Kevin led a marriage seminar, and Macklin, Mike, and myself talked about our desire to be involved and in partnership with what God is doing in West Africa. The congregation and their pastors welcomed us. Jonathan took us to the Alfred and Agnes Orphanage, led by Jerome, who picked us up from the airport. We were welcomed at a special chapel service, where we heard the choir, which you're listening to now, and were able to speak to some of the students, including the ones that we helped sponsor through the Christian Foundation for Education. Afterwards, they made a special meal for us, and we were able to interact with lots of the kids. Later at another orphanage, we met John and his wife Cecilia, who had adopted all 65 of the children they had taken in. We were so encouraged to see God renewing and restoring a country torn by civil war just a few years earlier. God is at work in Liberia. His people are there, seeking Him and proclaiming the gospel. It was a joy to experience it firsthand, and give and receive encouragement from the believers there. On Sunday, we went to Jonathan and Comfort's church, St. Matthew's Lutheran, where we joined a lively and joyful service. Pastor Kevin preached from Deuteronomy, and I believe there was much mutual encouragement in the gospel. During our last few days in Liberia, we spent a lot of time with people we had met in the Soul Clinic community where we lived. Kevin and I taught some of the kids how to play baseball. The people were friendly and will remain in our prayers. The four of us flew back to Ghana. Kevin and Micah flew back to the U.S. and Macklin and I drove to Togo. Our time there was spent visiting people and places significant to the work Macklin will do when he returns next year, starting a church plant and missions organization. It was really helpful for me to catch the vision and also get excited about the Amana Missions Conference in Togo in 2011. Thank you for your prayers and support. It was a joy to visit God's people in West Africa and mutually encourage each other in the gospel. It's our hope that this will lead to many more trips and deeper partnerships in West Africa.